aerosol spraying, they're putting all this crap in. It's like you wouldn't believe. The stuff coming down the other day in California was stuff, it wasn't rain, it wasn't snow, it was particulate matter of smart dust being infected in all of us. We can do the Morgellons drill and everybody can find fibers in their body. I mean, it doesn't really matter if it's them. It's what you can do with what you have. Start somewhere. Use what you got.
Okay, James, what is your end goal? Let's say that you're able to take control back. Then what do you do?
Well, it's not going to happen in our lifetime, that's for sure. My vision.
Yeah, but let's say in your lifetime that we take control back. Then what? Then what are you going to do?
It doesn't. It's not. I'm not taking control. It's not about control.
Well, what are you going to do?
What do you mean? What am I going to do?
I mean, what? Obviously, you're trying to get your life back. So once you get your life back, then what are you going to do? I don't understand. I mean, I'm going to live in peace and harmony, and we're going to be brothers, and we're going to end suffering. What else do you want to do? And then we'll just go on more and more reincarnations, right?
Absolutely. We got to learn our lessons.
Well,
how long have we been destroyed? What about Atlantis? They had technology and they destroyed themselves. What about all the lessons we have not learned that we're learning now? That's why the internet
and then after enough reincarnations, we have a peaceful planet. And everybody lives on happily ever after. Maybe you lived 1,000 years before you get reincarnated. We have the balls enough to make the change now to turn away from the destruction that's planned. The Luciferian prophecy is to make it such hell on earth that we never want to reincarnate again so they can have dominion. That's their plan. So do you want to say I'm going to come back here in this next lifetime and I'm going to fight them again because I'm going to wake up now and start doing my work because I can? Who controls reincarnation?
Well, I don't want to get into that. That's just up to your personal, systems of understanding.
We'll see. The reason why we're awake and the reason why we're doing the new presentation that we do is, and that's why we love to have people like you come on to share what's going on the planet, is because we want to wake up people to what's going on, and you're doing a fantastic job of waking people up to what's going on. But the reason why we're waking up people of what's going on the planet is because if they wake up to what's going on to the planet, then they can wake up to the more important stuff. And the more important stuff is to graduate out of creation and go back to the universes of the all-is. That's why we're here. We're here to learn and get educated and wake up and go back to the real universes of the all-is creator, way beyond creation. And
that's according to things that you understand. Not everybody can understand where you're at, right?
That's correct. As a matter of fact, probably 99.999% of the planet right now is in a stupor. And that's why we're doing our presentation, to wake people up to what's going on the planet, and then we can wake people up to the next step and say, hey, you're a being of light. You just drop all this nonsense religion, drop the nonsense wars, drop all these tap lines that all these stupid agreements you've agreed to, get rid of financial systems, return the planet back to its natural state, get rid of all the dams, let life continue on, go back to free energy that doesn't hurt anybody, and so the people that haven't learned all their lessons can be reincarnated in a normal life, but the rest of us that are wide awake can go back and step out of creation and go back to the real universes of the all-is. That's what it's all about. And so many people out there, they get caught up in, the government's doing this and the government's doing this and they got Agenda 21, they're going to do blah, 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 blah. That's only part of the wake-up call. What we need to do is take it to the next step and have people meet with the real guides that are sent here. They're like flight instructors from the all-is that have come in like angels of the Bible. They're not angels from the Bible, but they come in from much, much higher levels. And they come here and say, we will show you what you need to do to step out of creation. You don't have to die, and you can go into the endless universes of the all-is.
Okay, well, you can go philosophical, sir, but if they turn off your water, your power, and your energy, and your food tomorrow, what are you going to do? How's all that universal truth work for you? What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Well, you will be surprised what we have in mind.
Well, you, I'm talking about not just you, but you see, this is where they get to the limbic brain survival stuff. Remember, they spend $6 to $8 billion a year on brain mapping. They've been studying between our ears, behind our eyes, spending billions of dollars every year to understand human behavior better than we understand it ourselves. So they've got you can be all taken care of. I'm going to be fine. No, you're not. But that's, I'm out in the country. I'm 3 miles out of dirt road. I got my own food. I got my own water. I got my own energy. Because I figured out in 2007 it was coming down to that. But everybody else is going to be sitting there going, I must support you because I have no idea where my life-sustaining forces are coming from. So you ask me, well, what are we going to do? Well, you better get your living systems in place first in your communities. Bottom line, end of story, get back to the garden. Otherwise, it doesn't matter what the government says. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter how you feel. None of that matters if you want to gather a flock if they can't take care of themselves. That's what has to happen right now. I have children. I'm trying to prepare a better future for them by creating a world that they can be self-sufficient, self-reliant. And that's what our ancestors did. They sacrificed to the sacred. So I don't worry about my future work. I use my free will to determine where I'll go in the next lifetime, where I'll be reincarnated if I want to come back to this continuing shithole and fight this good fight, this big fight, the biggest fight we could possibly be taking on as souls. Or maybe I'll ascend into light beings and say, hey, I'm ready to party with a higher vibration, with the Aquarian age of the mind, and I'm going to sit up here and I'm going to help direct from my energy sources with subtle energy, because as we grow mentally, intuition, intellectualism, inspiration, wisdom, creativity, those are the higher senses that people are going to be ascending to, and I'll help guide them from a spirit being. It's just up to me, and it's each individual choice to make, but I'm not worried about that in the physical realm right now. I'm just trying to make the physical realm a manifestation for others and myself that we can have a chance in this world, in this realm, in this physical lifetime. That's all I give a shit about every day when I wake up, is trying to make it better so others can wake up and become self-sufficient, self-reliant. Because until you do that, you can talk all you want. They turn off the bridges, they turn off the gas stations, they turn off your electricity, they turn off your water, the foods doesn't show up. That's what's going to happen. That's what they're doing. So, it's up to each individual to do it, but time is short that we can broadcast. Time is short that we can do this before the censorship takes over, and we're not going to be wanting to broadcast. We're going to be having to go back to oral traditions like the Vedics. We're going to have to be sharing with our children the knowledge that we're learning and create new mystery schools, what you're referring to. This knowledge, this what I call theocosmogony. There is no planets. They're called luminaries. Plane T. It's a flat plane. We're the center of all creation. That's why the North Star is the heaven, and that's why the Big Dipper is a clock, to direct us where God sits up in heaven. That's why they call it sea level. There's no solar system. How can we go around the sun and then the sun moves around the Milky Way? How can that be? How can it be that the Earth is 4 times bigger than the moon in bright blue, yet it doesn't reflect on the sun on the moon? Yet the moon can reflect in its dark gray onto the Earth where we can hike at night in a full moon? Come on, guys. We've been lied to about everything. It's not a planet. Plane T, plane terrestrial, flat plane. We're the center of all creation. They told us a lie. We're one of billions and billions in the corner of some galaxy because it makes us insignificant. It makes us little people. We're not. We're God's creation. We're co-creators in the densest form. Shine your light, folks. Find your light and shine it, because now's the time. Because it's not going to be here for long. They created the Internet in 1995 and it came from DARPA, it came from the military for a reason. They created the, quote, smartphone. Smart means surveillance, military, arsenal, and residential technology to enslave the human populace through electronics. Get off the drip. And I'm looking forward to it. When I go back to, turning off these machines and saying, I'm going back to books. That's all we can do, sir, as I can see, is just get back to self-sufficient, self-reliant, and find your tribe. Because this stuff is going down. We can't stop it. The steamroller's rolling. They go into money supply. Money is the religion you got to break, like you said. But what are you going to do? What's your currency going to be? Well, that's why it's got to be food. What did they do in the Midwest and Missouri? They hit them with the geoengineering and flooded them out Then they hit them again with blizzards. There's no food being grown anymore because it's all this Beyond Meat made from Petri dishes, cloned cells that they replicate for no cost whatsoever. These food companies have no cost to make food anymore because it's all artificially made from cloned cells. What does that do to humanity? It changes their whole constitution. So it's big boy games, guys, we're talking here. It's really important stuff to understand. But don't underestimate these guys' power and think we're going to change it because we just woke up. That's a big fallacy with the Awakening Truther movement. They think because you woke up, everything's going to get better now. No, it's not. It's got to run its course. But we better have some new visions of what we want to see because people are going to start listening to us about radical ideas about what we can do, what we should do. Write your own law? You mean we can do that? Oh, my gosh. That was the wake-up call here in Mendocino. People started thinking they could write your own laws. We can write our own laws? Well, yeah, it says it right here. Abolish the government. You want to do it? Yeah, but what would that look like? I don't know. What do you want? We're so busy saying what we don't want. I don't want you to vaccinate. I don't want you to do this. I don't want you to spray me. What do you want? So that's the game now. What do you want? And then go get it. And you're going to be setting the table for the future dining of others. It's important to understand that. You're going to be the seed. You're not going to be the fruit. So sacrificing the sacred, understanding that we are universal beings, we're light beings, all that's really important to be able to stand up to these guys and just say, you don't own me. There's no way. There's no way you're taking my soul. It's mine. And everybody has to come to that own conclusion independently. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, like you say, it really is about survival, and that's what we're coming from too, that more so than just being, the challenges we face now with the controllers, it should prompt us to see more out of just being a prepper, and not only a physical prepper, but prepping for, I don't know, some kind of spiritual idea, or that's also in a sense like prepping for, Jesus is coming back, or we're going into the new age, or different dimensions, all that stuff. Those are all just ideas that we have, but
right.
Real survival is like, we see it as just becoming more aware. The more aware you are, the better off you are with any plane you find yourself in, any position. And we see it as a position, we're a viewpoint. Look at it that way. We're just a viewpoint, whether we have a physical body and we lose the physical and we're in another plane of existence. We're still a viewpoint, and we still carry these ideas with us. All these ideas, like flat Earth, God, spirit, angels. All these just ideas that they're not real. What's real is what just is. It's just I think what Bob's trying to get to is just what is. That's part of just recognizing things the way they are and not believing in things or having to struggle for things. It's just recognizing what is. That's your best survival. That's the best point you could be at to, and it's a point where you continually become more aware. It's not just static where I've found this enlightenment or I've found this position, but it's an ongoing. Survival is like ongoing awareness, becoming more and more aware as you move from. I wouldn't say even move, but just as you recognize things as they are. It's this recognition of things as they are. So we're not philosophical. We're not religious or spiritual. We have no agenda. We're not, do-gooders or anything. It's just being real with what's going on. But Jamie, take the chance and look at some of the things we mentioned with, reptilians. Say, if you just cut it out, say, oh, that doesn't matter. Well, there's a lot there. There's a whole lot there with that, because you look behind the political systems and the Jesuits, and who are they looking to? Who are they being controlled by? Am I still on here?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, yeah. So, there's always somebody, as there's always somebody behind somebody else. So it does get into, the interdimensional, going into the who controls who. Because if you track this down, the Jesuits, who are they, looking to? The Rothschilds, who are they looking to? There's somebody behind them, controlling them. They're not the ultimate. They don't have the power, So they've made deals with other factions, you could say, to get their power and to be able to socially engineer people. So don't just cut things out, because then you like everybody else. You say, oh no, that's just a conspiracy.
That's not a reptilianite.
You get a lot of that.
I'm a Gordy Roseite. Gordy Rose has been working on the D-Wave computers now, and he's in Iowa Technology, Wall Street for 25 years. Okay, folks. Moore's Law, doubling technology every year. You wouldn't believe what they have. Gordy Rose, if you listen to that man, you understand that artificial intelligence has no entity behind it. Okay? It's not a reptilian force. And what he says is, who works on this, who's designed the systems, is they think of us like ants, like we think of ants. They will step on us. This is not a cognitive, aware entity, spiritual being. This isn't somebody. This is artificial. This is artificial that's going to be stamping us out like bugs, like they're doing already. They got drones hanging out over everywhere now. Nobody sees it. It's there. They can zap you. Why are they collecting all your DNA? They're finding out who they want to keep, and that's why it's important to read the Luciferian Creed. Read Satan, Prince of This World by Admiral William Carr, who was head of Canadian Naval Intelligence, died in 1960, wrote the book Satan, Prince of This World. His son published it. He died. And it talks about that we only need 13% of the goyim of the women and 3% of the men, because we're going to be running the place through artificial intelligence, whoever they are. And then they put up these things called the Georgia Guidestones, which I flew to Atlanta, Georgia, and had to see for myself. It says the population's too big by 95%. And they put it in massive granite stone, the finest granite in the United States, in Pemberton County. They chose this area on ley lines that are the same ley lines as the Giza pyramids and Stonehenge. And in the United States, they say we need to take out 95% of the population. You can talk reptilians all you want. Great. But you're not dealing with the reality of what's going boots on the ground. It doesn't matter if they're reptilian. It doesn't matter if they're other world entities. They're trying to kill us. Yes, it's about survival, but you got to start thinking about what you want for the future. What do you want for your children's 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 children? The Iroquois, 7 generations. What do you want to see? Create the world you want to see. Don't just survive. Survive's boring. You're going to sit there in a prison cell and say, I'm surviving? Hey, okay. I don't buy that. I'm sorry. You better have some ideas of what you want to see. We got to get some opium going, guys. We got to get some future going. We'll get back to the land. If you're surviving and you're going to be okay, start building it so others can. Start saving seeds. Why did they build the Doomsday Seed Vault in 2007 with Bill Gates' money? Because they're running out of seeds. Why does Monsanto have metal-resistant seeds? They are now Bayer because they got absorbed. So, again, it's just down to your own spiritual values and your own physical needs. But then again, if you're going to be saying I'm continuing on as a spirit being, you better, what do you want for your children? What do you want for the future? What do you want to see? And that's what the gentleman was asking me about, what I really want to see. Well, I want to see the first step taken where people start respecting nature again, because nature gives life. Where's our water come from? Where's our air come from? Where's our food? What are they spraying us with? What's in our water? Let's get down to our basics about how we can live. Then we can start talking about reptilians and other things. But until we understand that our life forces are being taken away from us, I'm not interested in survival. I'm interested in kicking them in the nuts. We got to take back this world we've been taken, that's been taken from our children and their children. They have no future, guys. Our children have no future. None.
Jamie, we're absolutely in full agreement that right now our children have no future on this planet unless we stop the destruction that is being done by a group of beings that you don't want to call reptilians, so we'll just call them a group of beings.